everybody to our Monday, January the 22nd, 2024 Business Board meeting. I call the meeting to order and I call on the treasurer to call the roll, please.
All right, first of all, Mr. Moore is excused this evening. Mrs. Snow?
Here.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Here.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Here.
Dr. Urso?
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, I know it's on.
Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Anita. And a second, please.
Second.
I don't know who got in there first. Mr. Bertram, your choice.
I think Ms. Mulligan was the loudest. So we'll go with
Who was that?
I heard in my right ear.
Any questions regarding the agenda? Doesn't appear so, so Mr. Bertram?
All right, Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Yes, sorry.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Yes. Does not appear to have any public participation, and so moves to tonight's consent agenda. Is there a motion for approval for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second, please?
Second.
Ms. Snow got in that time.
Yeah, very good.
Any questions, anything from the consent agenda to highlight, Mr. Bertram? Sometimes the financial report or donations, anything of note?
We do have a generous donation from the Fraternal Order of Eagles Ladies Auxiliary. They donated $500 for our Christmas for All, which is very special with that part.
That's a good one.
Thank you to them. Any other items within the consent agenda? Doesn't look like there's too many things, just some personnel pieces. All right, enough awkward silence? Good?
No.
We're good?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
then Mr. Bertram, ready to approve.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Yes.
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Under business services, appears to be one action item. It's a lease agreement between Middletown City Schools and Butler County Community Health Consortium. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a
Second.
Thank you, Anita. Mr. Bertram, do you want to give just a high-level overview on this?
Yes, this is for our health center that we have in the lower level of the high school, entrance through the back. We're coming off a 5-year agreement, and we're going to extend this for another 5 years with a large rent payment of $5 per year for primary care. It's been a good partnership, and we want to keep this availability for our kids and families.
Great, and that's not related to this contract, but am curious, I think, Ms. Hauser, we indicated any figures in regards to the usage, not tonight, but maybe in the future would be nice to understand. I know it was a few years ago that we launched that initiative with excitement. It's nice to know how it's going over a few-year span.
And we are working on that. They're putting together their end-of-the-year report for us, so we should have that soon.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any questions regarding this contract? All right, then Mr. Bertram.
All right, Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Yes.
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
All right. Under business services, there's another contract. It's a lease agreement between Middletown City Schools and First Choice Fleet. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Thank you. And a second, please.
Second.
Another overview, if possible, high level.
So we are getting ready to renovate our transportation facility. What you see in front of you tonight is a contract with First Choice Fleet, which is a parking lot down the street from the transportation facility. And it's down by the theater, it's fenced in, so we need a place to park the buses. So while we're working on the transportation facility, our buses will be safe in this parking lot. That is to the tune of $4,300 a month while we're working on a transportation facility. Probably going to start in March, may last up to a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, to get that whole facility ready, yeah.
Yes.
I drove by there the other day and saw that. I had never paid attention. But there's
Yep.
a lot back there.
There is. So, yep, we need a place for our buses, and
Yeah.
they'll have a safe home.
And it's walking distance from our transportation
Yeah.
lot now, so
Yeah.
it's really convenient.
Works out, yeah.
Any questions regarding this? So it's approximately 12 months tops that we would be under?
That's what Mr. Satsing is estimating, yes.
And it would be a constant, they wouldn't renegotiate, it would be a constant amount for the entire duration, no matter if it's 8 months, 10 months,
No,
12
there-
months, 14 months?
There is a 30-day clause
Yeah.
if we get done early. Yeah, we can give
Then
30
we-
days notice and be out.
Then we'll be good.
Good.
Sounds good.
All right,
Yeah.
Mr. Bertram, we're ready.
Dr. Urso?
Yes.
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Mrs. Shiver?
Yes.
And the third item under business services is, it appears a contract with DB Sound Advice.
Right, so this is Donzel Burkhart. You may know him. He's been with us for a long time. He is all the work behind our musicals. So the contracts for Donzel, he used to work for us, so this used to be a supplemental. Now he's retired, and now we have a contract with him for his services. So that's what you see in front of you tonight.
And that's what the DB stands for.
Donzel, there you go. Can't pull one on over on you, Miss Mulligan.
No, I'm shocked tonight.
I really had it.
Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
In a second, please.
Second.
Any questions
Nope.
regarding this contract? Just one comment. I know, I don't know if he remembers me. I'm not very musical, but I remember him from when I was in school, Mr. Burkhart.
Yeah.
And he's done a really fine job at our performances. You always see him up in the box, doing all the things that need to be done that make those things run really smoothly.
Very professional.
He does a really nice job.
Yeah.
Light, sound, piano, yep, all the
Everything.
above.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Mr. Bertram, we're ready to vote.
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Mrs. Shiver?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Yes. If I'm reading this correctly, it looks like we're to Board of Education Board reports. I don't believe there are any committee reports. We'll do that
No.
after, but
No.
is there anything to report tonight, Ms. Snow? In regards to, anything for you, Ms. Shiver?
No, but I told Mrs. Hauser, I did appreciate that, and I think maybe parents did too, that kind of a warning the night before the snow thing, the 2-hour delay, and that another report would come at 6:30. I think that's helpful to know, so you're,
For family planning.
yes, you're waiting for something. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Sure.
Ms.
No, I
Mulligan?
don't have anything.
Just to highlight, I know our basketball team's been doing really well. I think they're towards the top of the GMC as it currently stands, the men's team. I believe they beat Oak Hills on Friday. My son went to the game, said it was really exciting.
yeah, that's close.
So you
Our-
weren't allowed to go?
Yeah, he doesn't like me, for whatever reason, I respect it. And the women's team, I think, is doing really a fine job. I know our wrestling program, a lot of kids involved, a lot of things on X or Twitter that I've noticed that they've been doing very well. Our bowling team, our men's team, I think, is at the top or near the top of the GMC. And I want to raise up our academic team. It's been a few years since they got a victory, and my son, he just called me just a second ago, and they got their first win against Oak Hills. And so the academic team pulled out a victory. And so our winter extracurriculars, I think, are going well. Yeah, and so that's all for me tonight.
Good.
Okay.
Mr. Bertram, anything
I
for
will
this
say
evening?
that I did attend a daytime wrestling match
Yes, you
over
did.
at the high school. And it was against Talawanda. I don't think it was a fair fight for Talawanda. But it was exciting. It's been a while since I've been to a wrestling match, and that's something I used to go to a lot in high school. A lot of friends that wrestled. And I got goosebumps just like I was in high school watching those kids and gals
That's right.
wrestle
That was
as
their
well.
first time, too.
Yeah, and wow, I think we had 8 pins that day out of 11 matches. It went really well, and it was exciting, so I'm glad I was invited to go. It was worthwhile.
I think I forgot one too. Our women's cheerleading team placed, and I don't know if you were going to report on this. I always go before you, and I always take all
You
your
always
things.
steal 'em
And so
all.
I wanted to make sure I slid this in too. I believe our cheerleading team placed really high within, I don't know if it was a state or national meet. I'm going to get the facts wrong, but I do know that they are doing a really nice job at the competition cheer group is.
And they came in third in the Springboro competitive cheer competition, too. So, yes, they did a very nice job with their stunting. Yep, they're doing a great job. Well, I think it's my turn.
It is. It is
Okay.
your turn.
It's Board Appreciation Month. January is Board Appreciation Month. Did you know that?
Yeah, I kind of did.
It is our opportunity to say thank you for all that you do. We value just the time, the dedication, the students first focus, and really just the ease of working together and being on the same team. How much we truly appreciate everything that you do. And the cohesiveness of our team, and students first and staff first, and it's just great. And we appreciate everything you do. Thank you for your dedication,
Well,
and your
thank you for your
hours of
thoughts.
endless
Yeah.
everything.
Thank you.
I'd just
Yeah.
like to highlight out of the 7 or 8 districts that I've been involved in, Middletown is by far the hardest working board. You do more outside of your board meetings than any other district I've been in, and that's quite an accomplishment, and I'm proud to say that you are a great help to us by the things
Yeah.
you do outside of every other Monday night.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Nice to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Out of sequence tonight, but are any committees able to report tonight? Any?
Well, next time we
Yeah.
will.
I heard you planning the drive over to
Yeah.
that meeting tomorrow. No committees?
no.
All right,
No.
so that moves us right on to is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved?
Thank you. In a second, please?
Second.
Ooh,
I think I
gosh.
heard Holly that time.
Oh, we're really thinking so.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
We are adjourned.
Okay.